So, check this out, people. In January 2021, GME squeezed to some $400 a share, right? And the one who began this whole thing where the majority of retail investors rallied behind GME, Roaring Kitty, sold at a profit and became a millionaire. And then, not too long thereafter, Dogecoin, just a few months later, in the same year, 2021, squeezed to 74 cents from 5 cents. And those who sold, like myself, made a lot of money, right? The majority of people who were smart enough sold their Dogecoin, sold their GME, and became rich or made a ton of money. And then, just a few months after that, in the same year, 2021, AMC went from $5 a share. That's when I jumped into AMC. It was a lot lower than that. When I was watching it, it was at $1.50. But I jumped in at $5. And then a few months thereafter, it went up to $75, give or take a dollar or two. And Trades, the one who was pretty much the leader of most AMC influencers, sold at a profit and became a millionaire. Just like Roaring Kitty sold at a profit and is probably on an island somewhere, Trades sold at a profit and became a millionaire and is somewhere on an island. Who knows where he is? Because he deleted his channel and disappeared, just like Roaring Kitty deleted his channel and disappeared. And so you have these three short squeezes that took place in 2021, all three in the same year, and none of them went to the moon. Those who held on to GME lost everything. Those who held on to AMC lost everything because they believed the influencers that was telling them to hold to the moon. They didn't follow Trade's lead. They didn't follow Roaring Kitty's lead when he sold his GME shares. Anyone who decided to sell during that time, people ridiculed, people called paper hands, they called shills. I've been called the shills since day one. The funny thing about it is that for as long as I've been called a shill, GME has only tanked, AMC has only tanked. And the only ones making money on GME today are those who just bought into GME last week. Those who bought into GME at 9 and change, $10, $11, and $12. Those are the only people who are making money in GME today. And if they're smart, they will sell at a profit the same way Roaring Kitty sold, the same way Trade sold his AMC shares. Because nothing goes to the moon. No stock goes to the moon. And it's funny that these very same idiots who call me a shill are the very same idiots who are at a huge loss in both GME and AMC. They've lost their life savings, they've lost their tuitions, they've lost their homes, they've lost their cars, they've lost their life savings, they've lost it all. And why? Because they believe the hype. They listened to these influencers. They didn't follow the leads of those who were leading them originally, who sold. They believe these influencers who just got here yesterday telling them that both GME and AMC and Dogecoin are going to the moon. And what happened? Nothing, except that all three stocks tanked. And then today, GME is at $18.50 an 80% profit, 80%. And when you tell people, listen, get your money, don't let the opportunity pass you by, don't get greedy, they then call you a shill. The funny thing is that those who attack me have no face, no content, and no subscribers. These are the scammers who call you saying that your social security number has been compromised. These are the same people who call you to scam you from India, because the majority of these people are from India. These are the exact same people who attack me on my comments and who attack anybody who speaks against this MOAS nonsense, because they know that if someone like me speaks against this nonsense, they're going to lose out on the opportunity to continue to scam newcomers, novice investors, and those people who believe that both GME and AMC are going to the moon. And so instead of these people who are heavily invested in these stocks getting their money, getting their profits, they want to get greedy. You want to get greedy. And then when people like me say, hey, be smart, get your profits. If you invested $1,000 into AMC, and well, there's no recovering from AMC. That's a huge loss. So I'm not even going to go there with AMC. Everybody who watches me knows exactly what I think about AMC. So I'm going to stick to GME. Anybody who's bought into GME within the past year is at a huge loss. And I don't believe you will ever recover your losses. If you bought in at $100 because you FOMO'd in, if you bought in at $75 because you FOMO'd in, if you bought in at $50 because you FOMO'd in, you will never recover your losses. Even if GME goes up to $30, those who have been holding for over a year will only recover part of their losses, hopefully the majority of their losses, because they bought in at a very high price, believing those influencers who were telling them that $75 was a great time to buy, that $50 was a great time to buy, that $30 was a great time to buy. So now that GME has spiked 80%, those who are celebrating are those who just bought into it a week ago and are at a 90% increase almost into their investments. And those who have been holding for longer, a year or more, are just praying that GME will go up higher so that they can at least break even. Because the problem with people who are poor and who are middle class, they have no common sense. They are the most greediest people in the investment game, and this is why you lose. I'm going to give you a perfect example. There is an influencer, his name is Kevin. I hope he doesn't mind me using him as an example. He talks about it all the time. He's Canadian. He bought into GME at its lowest. His username is Free From It All. Very smart guy. Unfortunately, not smart enough to sell his AMC shares when he made $2 million on that stock, on his investment. $2 million. Now, $1 million I would have sold, just like Trace Trades sold at $1 million. 2 million, bro, I would have grabbed my bag and left. I don't care what anybody would have said. Instead, he believed the hype. He got greedy. And instead of selling at $2 million, he settled for $240,000. Why? Because the stock began to tank. Adam Aaron sold at $54 while everybody else was saying, hold to the moon, hold to the moon. The CEO sold at $54, made millions of dollars, while retail investors like Free From It All came out on the losing end. And though $240,000 is a lot of money, $2 million is even more money. But he got greedy. Now, Roaring Kitty is a millionaire. Trace Trades is a millionaire. free from it all is a thousandaire when he was a millionaire because he got greedy. And you got these YouTubers who are lying to you, who are trying to get you to hold, I don't know for what. They act like it's their money, and that if you sell, you're an asshole, you're a dick. They start to criticize you, they start to insult you. The fact is that you got to get your money. You got to do what's best for you, your family, and your life. You got bills to pay. You need to do what you got to do. If you can afford to lose $2 million, more power to you. If you can afford to lose $1 million, more power to you. Stay in the game, lose your money. GME to the moon. Go ahead and believe that nonsense. But if you're smart like Roaring Kitty, who sold at a profit and became a millionaire, and if you're smart like Trace Trades, who played all of you for suckers and sold and became a millionaire, and if you're smart like Adam Aaron, who played every single eight, who was sucking his sweaty, hairy balls, right? Because you call him the silverback. He sold at a profit when AMC had a second spike from $15 to $54, and he made millions, millions of dollars, while those who held until today have lost it all. And then you want to criticize me when I tell you people get your money. But the fact is that the majority of people who comment on my channels, both channels, because I have two channels, are nobodies. Nobodies. They have no face, they have no content, and they have no subscribers. If you want to talk smack, put your face on it, and then we can talk. But until then, you need to shut the fuck up, people, and don't leave any stupid comments on my channel because I'm gonna come at you and you're not gonna like it. Anybody that knows and reads my comments, they know how I do. Now, there's a story. I'm gonna tell you this quick story, right? You got three guys, three bank robbers. There's a plan. The plan is everybody has a bag. Everybody has a bag. You get in, you disarm the alarm, you go into the vault, you fill your bag, you got 3 minutes to do it, everything's been timed. You fill your bag and you leave. You get out. You don't waste time. You don't take an extra minute. You don't take an extra 30 seconds. You fill your bag and then you leave. But there's always this one idiot who sees all that money and he gets greedy. And instead of sticking to the plan, which is fill your bag in 3 minutes, take it and go. No, instead he sees all that money, and when his boys, out of the three, two of them leave, and he decides to stay for a little bit longer because he wants to fill his bag a little more than everybody. He's greedy. And so when the others leave, they leave with their bags filled. And the guy who stays behind gets caught. He gets caught and he loses his bag and he loses everything and he goes to prison and has nothing to show for the time that he put into, the plan that he put into, and everything else. And the other two guys who stuck to the plan, they filled their bags and they left on an island somewhere, rich, living it up, while this idiot lost everything. And those two guys who filled their bags are Trace Trades, when he sold his AMC shares while telling you to hold, Roaring Kitty, who sold at the top when GME had its run, and then this idiot who decided to stay behind are the apes, who were criticizing everyone who was selling, who were criticizing everyone who wanted to get their money and sell at a profit. Now, these apes want to blame the system because at the beginning it was, we're going to break the system. In the beginning it was, we're going to show these people how we do, who we are, right? And then when they lost because they got greedy, they changed their narrative to, oh, yeah, I don't care if I lost my money. It's not about the money. It's about the journey. It's about the journey. It's not about the money. So they put their life savings into a play, believing that it was going to go to the moon, but it wasn't so that they can get rich. It was for the journey. That's what they want you to believe today. You see, there are those people in GME who've been pumping GME for over 3 years who will never gain their profits because they didn't sell at the top. They got in at the top. And now that GME has had its run or having a run, they're never going to recover their losses because they bought in at 100. Actually, they bought in at 200, 150, 100, 75, 50, $30. So even if it spikes, they're not going to regain their losses. They'll be lucky if they can even come close to breaking even. So people, before you come on my channel and talk shit, you better get your shit together. Okay, because I sold my Dogecoin at a profit. I sold my GME at a profit when it spiked, even though I didn't jump in to GME during the original run. I simply let it pass me because I did not want to chase it. Because when you chase stocks, you end up buying at the top. And when you buy at the top, you end up losing everything. Now, those who are FOMOing into GME today, you better hope that this is not the top. Because if you didn't buy in at 10, 11, or 12, and you FOMOed in at 16 to 18, and this is the top, you better make sure you get your money. You better make sure you get your profits. Because if not, and it tanks all over again, you're going to be in the same boat as everyone else who have been holding both AMC and GME for the past 3 years. Because if you don't understand that the rich people are rich because they sell at 30% and then jump right back in when the stock tanks and then resell again at the top, then you shouldn't be in this game. Because this is a man's game. This isn't a little boy's game. And these little bitches who come on my channel thinking that they can disrespect me, because I'm telling those who watch me, get your money, take your profits. Don't be stupid. Roaring Kitty wasn't stupid. Trades wasn't stupid. Review Dog wasn't stupid. TMI wasn't stupid. Short the VIX wasn't stupid. The only stupid ones were those who believed the influencers and held believing that their stock was going to the moon. While these guys are rich and now pumping new stocks, because if GME and AMC were going to the moon, Roaring Kitty would still be here, Trades would still be here, TMI, Short the VIX, and all of these other scumbags who told you to hold while they were selling behind your backs would still be here selling this nonsense. Instead, they're pumping other stocks. So if you don't get your money, you're going to be like that idiot who went into the bank with three guys and decided to hang around just a little bit longer because he got greedy. And the other two who left are millionaires sitting somewhere on a desert island somewhere or on a beach, sipping on Mai Tais and sipping on coladas, enjoying their millions, while this idiot who decided to hold lost everything. Get your money, people. Fuck what anybody thinks. Fuck what anybody else believes. You're in it to win it. No one gets into the market to lose money. You only get into it to make money. And if you leave with 30%, you left a winner. If you leave with 100%, obviously you're a winner. And if you can hold down longer than that because you think you got it like that, and you're okay with losing, then more power to you. Hold to the moon if you believe that's what's going to happen. But when you lose it, bro, it's not the market makers who took it from you. It's not Ken Griffin. It's not Adam Aaron. It's not the market makers. It's not the short attackers. It's not the hedge funds. It was your stupidity that made you lose your money because you wanted to ride the to the moon train rather than riding the money train. Get your money, people, and fuck what anybody else thinks.